Apocalypse Tips with Lester Pipps is the show that you're currently watching. It's about to start with his amazing guests, and they gon' tell you how to survive out in the apocalypse. This way you won't be dead if anything was to attack humanity and try to end it. So now you gotta show up with your ears and your eyes and watch the show. It's Apocalypse Tips with Lester Pipps. Oh, yeah, that's what the show is. It's the show that I said that it is. It's Apocalypse Tips with Lester Pipps. And, of course, by I mean my musician friend, Dr. Ron Rabernack, who made the song. It wasn't me. It's that guy. Yo, look, what we's doing is we's here. We's in Louisiana. We's talking about apocalypses. We's saying what we going to do to make sure that we survive them. And we's letting y'all know how you's going to survive them. Because, look, I don't know about you, but for me personally, when I think about dying in apocalypse, I think I'd rather not. And I would rather you not either, you know? That's what I'm thinking. So, look, what you probably wondering is, who the heck this guy? Who the heck? Why the heck he talking about apocalypses? What makes him qualified to speak on the subject? Well, that's a good question. Obviously, if you asking it, that means you are not somebody who has heard the show before. Because every single episode I tell y'all, I'm Lester Pipps. I'm the dude who used to go door to door to any open microphone situation where I could get my hands on a microphone and proselytize about a coming apocalypse. I am a self-proclaimed doomsday prep lecturer, the world's greatest. Okay, possibly the only one, but as far as I know, oh wow, look at that. We got young woman in the chat saying cute bunker Lester. Wow, I hope young woman is somebody who knows me personally. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna get into what possible apocalypses could come up, what we're gonna do to survive them, and of course we're gonna talk to some of my amazing guests, as Dr. Ron said in the intro song. I got amazing guests, and we're gonna talk to them in a little bit later. Now I want to tell you who's coming up, and then I'm going to tell you about the apocalypses you got to worry about, and then we're going to talk to those guests, okay? So coming up later, we're going to talk to Theodore Booksworth. He is a zookeeper. Excited to hear what zookeeping in the apocalypse is all about. Prior to him, we're going to talk to Sock Karen, who is a sock, which, I mean, I've never talked to a sock before, except sometimes when it's like I maybe had a little bit too much of that Louisiana bourbon, you know what I'm saying? Now, then before that, we're going to talk to Harley Fincham, a reality star. Wow. I got a reality star on the show. That's something that has happened before, but I'm very excited for it to happen again. And honestly, y'all in the chat, we're going to talk to you too if you participate, which you should, okay? Because like young woman, for example, already said something. And you noticed how I said what she said? I assume young woman's a she, maybe not. What they said, you know? So like I'll do that for you, you know? So put whatever you want to say in the chat. I'll read it. And if it's a question for me or one of my guests, well, I'll ask it and then we'll answer it. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to make sure you know how to survive apocalypses. Speaking of which, I did, in fact, have a question come to me through my publicist at Ezra Partier on Instagram. You can also send them to me at Lester Pipps on Instagram. Jack Mehoff wanted to know, what if all the cups get poisoned by aliens? Which I think is a reasonable question. You know, it's unlikely that there are aliens or that they would poison all our cups. But if they did that, what I would suggest, you know, just to make sure that doesn't happen to you, is you boil water, you put it in your cup, then you pour that out of the cup, then you put whatever you're trying to drink in there. And if it is a cold beverage, probably put the cup in the freezer and then fill it up. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't want a hot cup with a cold beverage. That's not a good idea. Now, that's just one possible apocalypse, okay? If you got a question about a specific apocalypse, send it to me or my publicist, and I will answer it on the show. There's two other possible apocalypses I wanted to talk to y'all about today, okay? Another possible apocalypse that I've been real worried about is what if Grover Cleveland, you know, former president of the United States, came back to life or even came back as a ghost to haunt us and try to get revenge for letting his city be so bad? You know, dang. What did we do? How did we let Cleveland get so bad? What I recommend to fight against that is anytime you have an opportunity to be in touch with a Ghostbuster, just say, hey, have you caught Grover Cleveland yet? And if they say yes, we good. If they say no, stay vigilant. Now, another possible apocalypse we got to worry about is what if all the sharks grow their legs like in that 90s cartoon Street Sharks, but instead of skateboarding, all they want to do is eat people. Okay? Think about that. Now, what we got to do to monitor for that is just anytime you're near a coast, any kind of coast, okay, be it a lake, which I guess wouldn't be a coast, it'd be more of a shore, or an ocean, which would be a coast, you got to keep your eyes out for sharks, okay? And I know that everybody's already doing that. But just make sure that they don't have legs. If you do see a shark with legs, call your nearest first responder, okay? And be that police, even though I know we're worried about the police right now, they can deal with sharks, okay? They're okay to deal with sharks. Don't bring them in for like a minor issue in your neighborhood. Deal with that yourself, okay? But yeah, anyway, we don't need to get into that. Florida Man Gamer says if Grover Cleveland lived, the world would have been better off. That's true. He did live for a while, but yeah, if he lived longer, it would have been better off for longer. I agree with that 100%. Now, we covered the possible apocalypses. I'm talking too much, but we got to get to some very important stuff about what today is, y'all. Because from now on this episode, on this show, I'm gonna address news of the day. Not really news, but like important holidays and shit. Oh, I swore. Okay. Look. Today is the first episode we're having in December, and December in Louisiana is very, very special. All right, we don't have snow, so what we do is we cut up a little white paper into pictures of like trumpets and saxophones, and then we throw them at people and yell, "December to remember." That's one thing we do here in Louisiana. Another thing is we always carry frankincense and myrrh just in case we see a baby gator who might be baby gator shark. A baby gator, Jesus. I have sharks on the brain because all them sharks with legs I'm worried about. My bad. I really stepped on that real thing that we do in Louisiana by accidentally saying shark, huh? Also, instead of 8 days of oil, our Jews do 8 days of Mardi Gras in December. But that also might just be what my friend Baruch Leibowitz does because he's an alcoholic. Anyway, we got to get to our guests. I'm very excited to do this. Our first guest is a reality TV star who you've seen on reality TV shows, but I haven't because the only TV I watch is the LSU Football Tigers. Her name is Harley Fincham, and here she is. Harley, welcome to the show.
Hi, babes. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for being here. So, Harley, I mean, I obviously know what show you were from, but maybe let our guests and by guests, I mean audience, know who you are away from.
Cool. So I was on Love Island season 8, Love Island UK. You might remember me as the girl who went home on night 1. I thought my dreams were dead, Lester. My dream, my lifelong dream was to be on reality TV. And I finally was, and I just didn't meet anyone my type, nobody to crack on with, and I went home and I thought my life was over.
Wow, I'm so sorry to hear that. Now, a lot of people on these shows, they make it like they don't have to necessarily match up on the first night, but I guess that's how Love Island works. You have to.
You do, Lester, and I did it. And so I felt rejected. I felt sad because this was a lifetime coming. I was set to be on reality TV from age 8 when I watched the first season of Survivor in my living room.
Wow.
And I knew it was my mission in life.
Yeah. So what kind of steps did you take as an 8th grader? I mean, you made it to Love Island. So obviously what you did was a good way to get onto a reality show. What'd you start doing when you was 8? Well,
I realized step 1 is to be ridiculously good looking. And I was a very ugly child, Lester. I know it's a surprise because you can see me now.
I mean, that's you never know what anyone looks like at any point ever in their whole life, but at this point I do know what you look like. No,
I was a wreck, Lester. So step 1, I knew I had to be good looking, but step 0, it takes a lot of money to be good looking. This is not free. Okay, this is not free. This costs a lot of money to look like this.
Oh, really? Like, okay, yeah. For me, I'm thinking like when I want to invest money, I'm like, I should invest money in making sure humanity survives apocalypses. But like, I guess for you, what you're doing is you're investing in your own face.
All we're looking for, Lester, is meaning, right? It's why some people are religious. It's why some people believe in aliens. I believe in making myself look good so that I can get on Love Island.
Wow. Well, I mean, obviously it worked. You got onto the show. What was that experience like? I mean, you finally made it to the zenith of your goals, right? You got onto Love Island. And what was the first moment when you stepped foot on that island like? Was your foot on fire in a good way?
It was, Lester. My feet were burning hot, okay? And I looked around at everyone else and I thought, everyone else is as good looking as me. I had never, since probably the age of 20, been in a room where other people were as good looking as me. So I was very excited, but then I got the boot. And I was in the limo on the ride home thinking, my life is over, my dream is crushed. But then I realized, I'm famous, babe.
Well, yeah, I suppose so. Now that you've been on a show, people know your name. Absolutely. Harley Fincham, everybody knows that name.
Right, and now I have opportunities that I wouldn't have had. So I found your show, Lester, on Twitch.
Yeah.
And it
Thanks.
changed
Yeah,
my
I mean, I got you on the show because you emailed saying you was a big fan, and I love hearing that from anybody.
Changed my life. And I thought, okay, so now that I'm famous, Lester's famous, I'll get Lester to put me on his show, and then I will have other reality TV stars on my own show.
Oh my God, I inspired the next generation of show.
You did, Lester.
Wow.
This Saturday, and I'm talking to someone who was on the British Bake Off.
Whoa, they made the cakes on the TV.
Yes, and I get to talk to her. So, in essence,
Is it Mary Berry?
Now are going to be.
Is it the old lady Mary Berry?
She is called Jan Wary, which is very close.
Oh, interesting. I've never seen the show because, of course, I only watched the LSU Football Tigers, but I have heard of Mary Berry.
Of course you have. Who hasn't? So my dreams have come true. I thought it was a curse to go home at night one. It was a blessing, and I'm going to be famous, babe.
Wow. Well, that's really exciting. I'm so excited for your new show, but I'm also curious about your experience on that first night. I mean, you got one night of being on TV, on a reality show, this dream that you've had since you was a little child. Did you find yourself like, okay, so let's say, so I know a little bit about how Love Island works, right? Because people talk about it now. Because I watch that one, but you like try to match up with people, and you're trying to be like, hey, I'm cool. We should be like a thing tonight. And then but everybody rejected you, or did you reject everybody? How'd it go?
Right. Well, I'm very picky, Lester. And if you've ever seen the show, right away, everyone lines up. The girls get in their best bikinis, line up. And then one by one, these giant hunks of tan meat walk in. They look you up and down. And then if you think they're hot, you step forward. And I didn't step forward for anyone. Nobody was my type 2T. So
Harley. You made it under reality TV and you couldn't participate once?
There was nobody my type.
Well, what is your type? Is that? I mean, this is just not the kind of guy who goes on Love Island.
My type is someone under 4 feet tall.
Okay, it's very specific.
Everyone was over 6 feet tall.
Yeah, no, they don't. I mean, folks who are under 4 feet generally wouldn't be folks who's on a show like Love Island,
which is a crime.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. We should make Love Island accessible to everybody. Absolutely.
I told the producers I'm not going to crack on with anyone who's over 4 feet. So every time someone walked in, I was looking to my producer who's standing right behind the camera, and I'm like, where is he? I knew they were going to bring someone there for me, and they didn't.
Wow. I mean, that's crazy. How is your love life off camera if you have such specific requirements?
I mean, it's easy with the internet. I mean, you can find anything. You could get FetLife, look up, say you don't want anyone over 4 feet tall, and then it filters everyone out. It's easy to find someone.
Oh, that's great. Okay, great. Yeah, I didn't even think about FetLife. I'm down here in the bunker thinking mostly about my ex-wife, not FetLife, and that rhymes nicely. But that's beside the point. I mean, so are you thinking about getting back into the reality game yourself, or just having your own show? Which, by just having your own show, I mean very to the max having your own show, not to belittle it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Very to the max having your own show. I'll repeat that because it was good. Yep, go ahead.
But have you heard of the reality show, Little People, Big World?
I've heard of it. Again, haven't seen it. I only watched it.
I have secured a guest from Little People, Big World for my show, and I'm going to meet him next week.
Whoa, that's very exciting.
And we're both going to quarantine, get a test, fly by eagle to each other's house.
What?
Like dogs, Lester.
Well, I mean, that's a crazy way of doing it, but I'm excited for you to meet. I would think you could maybe like, I guess in non-quarantine times, you'd take a plane or a car or a train or something like that. A plane, train, automobile, something along those lines. But
you have to do it that way now, Lester, to be safe.
Mhm. Yeah, I haven't been outside the bunker, so I don't know about this eagle travel, but I believe you.
Mhm.
Okay, great. No,
I'm very inspired by your bunker. I created a bunker myself after I found your show.
oh, did you? That's great. Please tell me a little bit about it, but we do have to get to our next guest real soon.
It's in a hole underground. It's like an igloo with no ice, kind of a thing.
Okay, so you dug a hole?
Right. I made it extra small so that me and my new lover can both fit.
Well, I would think. Okay, I mean, I would think you just need to make it the size for you, but
with no extra room. You know
sure,
what I mean?
yeah. No, that's very nice. And behind you, it does look like an apartment, but that's okay. That's all right. That's cool.
Well, I don't stay in it all the time. That would be
That makes sense.
hard.
Yeah, you're famous. You got an apartment too.
Right.
Well, that's really exciting, Harley. We do have to get to our next guest. Will you stick around for the whole show?
Of course. It was a pleasure to talk to you, Lester.
Oh, you know what? Before we, I have a question from somebody from Instagram. But before we get to that, where would people watch your show?
They can watch it on the Jet City Improv Twitch channel this Saturday night at 7:30 p.m.
Oh wow! Right, competing with a show that my producer will be making on this very Twitch channel. So look, people watch 2 shows at once. That's all we're saying.
Multiple tabs, multiple browsers.
That's right. That's right. Have the volume on every single one.
Right.
But we do have a question coming to me from @KETEEL on Instagram. Who? Wow, I'm looking at her Instagram and she kind of looks like if you didn't have a filter on, making your face look like your face. Interesting.
Right.
Yeah. Well, KETEEL wants to know, are you taking vitamin D supplements? Great question. Yes, I am.
Good. You're not getting any sunlight, Lester. You need some supplements.
That's true. Yeah, absolutely. How about you, Harley? Are you taking any vitamin D supplements?
I take 5 every morning, and 5 every night, and 5 in the middle of the night.
Wow, that does seem like too many, but hey, you neither of us is a doctor, so who am I to say?
I don't know. Have a doctor on your show. They can tell us.
I've had some doctors on the show. They never talk about it. One was from the Civil War, so he didn't understand much. But look, we are going to bring on my next guest now, who I'm very excited to talk to. She is a sock, and her name is Karen. Welcome to the show, Sock Karen.
Yeah, hi. Hello.
Hi, yeah, Sock Karen. So Sock Karen, I mean, our guests, and by guests, I of course mean audience. I keep saying that wrong every time. Probably haven't talked to too many socks before. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I'm a Karen before I'm a sock.
Oh, okay.
So, I'm just your average lady. My husband's name is Douglas, and we have 2 children. And we live in the middle of the country.
That's great. I hope I hope you and Douglas and whoever's face we just saw for a brief second are doing real well. Now, what has your experience been like doing all these COVIDs? It looks like you're in a very nice bunker.
Yeah, it's lovely. I have to apologize. We are painting. I have actually hired someone from Home Depot to come paint "Live, Laugh, Love" on my walls. So we have them covered up right now, but they're going to say "Live, Laugh, Love." It's going to be great.
Cool. Yeah. Some people like that. For me, I think living is good, laughing is good, and loving, hey, that's great.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to have all 3.
Yeah, well, get what you can get. That's what I always also say. Because right now I'm mostly just living and laughing.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fine too.
Yeah. So, I don't want to dwell too much on the sock thing if you say you're primarily a Karen, but I am curious. Do you think that it's different being a sock in a quarantine or at all?
I wouldn't know because I am a sock.
Yep, that was an invalid question. You did a good job deducing that.
I don't know what's quarantine like for you?
Oh, mostly it's been proselytizing how people's gonna survive apocalypses, letting folks know that there's big sharks out there growing legs, trying to eat you, things like that.
Yeah, different than it's been for me.
Oh, really? You're not doing that?
No, not really the alligator part. No.
Oh yeah, you got to watch out for alligators that might be Jesus. That's why I always have frankincense and myrrh with me. Look, I'm not trying to repeat the things I said at the beginning of the show, but I do like saying them. Karen, other than getting your house repainted, which I would say is a little bit of a risky move, given that there's all these COVIDs up in the air trying to eat everybody's brains.
You're a sheep, and you believe in all that.
Oh yeah, no. This is a show that believes in the COVIDs. I'll tell you that right now.
What?
This is a show that believes in the COVIDs. I tell you that right now.
Oh boy. Okay, well, but that's fine. That's fine. If you want to go ahead and fall for it, I bet you're going to get the vaccination too, huh?
I was just about to ask you about that, Karen. Are you going to get the vaccine when it comes out?
Well, I don't want a chip in me, and I don't want Bill Gates to know where I am at all times, so no.
I mean, what do you think Bill Gates is going to do to you if he knows where you are?
Oh, those techies, those tech guys could do any number of things, you know?
Yeah.
And then they know where you are.
But what
that's true.
What would Bill Gates want with you?
Exactly. What does he want?
This is the kind of thing that I warn folks about. If you let Bill Gates know where you're at, he might send Melinda over to like give you like a hug or maybe a malaria vaccine or something.
Oh boy. Yeah, I don't know. Listen, I don't know why they need to know where I am at all times. But you know, if I'm going over to Hobby Lobby, I don't need Bill and Melinda Gates to know that I'm going to Hobby Lobby. You know?
Yeah. No, that's true. And they definitely don't have anything else on their mind. They're not like trying to kill off AIDS or anything like that. They're just worried about what Karen's up to for sure.
I mean, yeah.
Okay.
What are the COVID restrictions like in your area? Like, can you go out to eat or not?
Oh, I don't really pay much attention to them. They are making me wear this stupid mask when I go inside places, which is just ridiculous, but whatever. Luckily, when you take a bite of food, they actually let you take your mask off. Jeez.
Yeah, I've tried putting food in through my mask, and every single time I'm just eating my mask, which is frustrating because my mask ain't chicken.
No. They taste terrible.
That's true. That's true. It's almost like they're not designed to be eaten. Now, but now, Karen, you said you're in the middle of the country, and I know a lot of folks in the middle of the country maybe have had experiences where they go to places and they say, "Hey, I'm not going to wear my mask," and then they get kicked out. You ever had that happen to you?
Every day.
Every single day?
Yeah.
You keep going back to the same place?
Yeah, no, not the same place. Every place I go. And I have my doctor's note. It's not from a doctor, but it looks like it's from a doctor, so they don't know. And it says that I have a condition that says I can't wear a mask, and they don't care.
Wow. What condition is it? Is it just like you got an itchy nose?
No. I feel like you're being a little condescending.
No, I'm legitimately curious because, I haven't met anybody who's tried to use one of these doctor's notes. I'm real curious what you're putting on there.
Yeah, I have a lung condition where I can't breathe in the bacteria from my own face.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I've never been worried about that. See, this is the kind of thing that like getting yourself exposed to other perspectives can bring, Like for me, I've never thought, am I allergic to my own face?
You didn't think about that, but maybe if you went on the right Facebook pages, you would see all these facts out there and you would be able to educate yourself.
Are you on Facebook, Lester?
Yeah, absolutely. I got a Facebook page. It's facebook.com Lester Pipps, I think. I don't know exactly what it is, but yeah, I'm on there. I spend most of my time looking at LSU football Tiger highlights and sometimes other people's bunkers.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what I found with Facebook is that they were telling me how to think and feel. Do you feel like that happens, Karen? Facebook's telling you what you should think and feel.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. They want everyone to hate cops. They want everyone to wear their masks. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, I don't know that I would agree with
They want
that.
you to live in fear. They want you to live in fear.
Well, now that's interesting because I feel like what they really want is for you to keep clicking on their stuff. You know, that's what Facebook's really after. They're saying, hey, you know where the F is in Facebook? Click on that. You know where the A is? Click on that. You know where the C is? Click on that. You know where the E is? Click on that. You know where the book is? Click on that. That's
Wow.
what Facebook's up to.
Wow. Yeah. And then they get you to click on it, and then it leads you to a child sex slavery ring.
What the heck? See, that hasn't happened to me. Every time I click on it, it's just a Facebook homepage.
Did you find that, Karen? Did you find that on Facebook?
Yeah, it took me straight to Wayfair.
Whoa.
Furniture company?
What?
The furniture company.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What? And so wait, is the furniture made out of children, or what you talking about?
No, the furniture is children. The furniture is children, and that's how they're trafficking them.
Whoa.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, again, this is what happens when you expose yourself to other perspectives. I never knew that a potential apocalypse was that all of our chairs was actually children.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh no.
You order an ottoman, and it's a child, and then when that child comes, you eat their tears, and that's how the liberals are getting all their power.
What? I didn't even know liberals had power. It seems so much like they don't.
Oh, they run everything.
Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I shouldn't be learning from you, but I'm learning things I didn't know before, you know?
Yeah, well, I'm glad I could help.
See, I'm not from this country, and I've never heard of any of this. This sounds bonkers. Nothing like this is happening where I'm from.
Well, I mean,
And actually, Harley, I'm curious, where are you from? We never established that.
I'm from somewhere in between Australia, the UK, and Scotland.
That sounds about right. So, like, roughly the continent of Asia. Got it.
Right.
it's a lot in between there.
So, Karen, you need to fill me in because I don't know anything about this. So, now that you know this information, what are you going to do with it?
Oh, I'm spreading it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anytime I see a link, I click and share, and I'm just letting everyone know. Everyone.
Mm-hmm. Has anybody in your neighborhood come knocked on your door and said, "Hey, Karen, stop it"?
People know not to knock on my door.
That makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. You remember those people who they was in St. Louis? They was brandishing guns at protesters. How do you feel about those guys? Is this a good question?
Which people?
The people who came out on the front lawn with their guns pointing at protesters. I even know about that.
My friends. Yeah, they're my dear friends.
Oh no. It's almost like I set that up. Oh no.
What is that?
This is my gun.
Wow, I've never known a sock with a gun. I've known socks that have stuff painted on them, but never a sock that's carrying a weapon.
A true patriot sock.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Is that loaded? Am I in danger?
It's loaded. It doesn't kill people. I kill people.
Karen, you tell me right now. Have you ever actually killed a human being? Nothing that's said on the show is legally binding.
Okay.
That's a nod. That's a head nod. Yes. Karen,
No.
Oh, okay. Because that would be kind of an interesting story. I mean, I hate to hear that anybody died, but I would like to hear about the details of it.
You know, sometimes accidents happen, and sometimes you're getting your latte and you're trying to drive and your kids are making a lot of noise, and there's some bumps that happen and you don't necessarily stop to look and see, and that's not necessarily your fault.
What? Yeah, I mean, by all like legal and moral standards, it is. But at the same time, sure, yeah, maybe it's not.
Depends on whose legal morals.
Right. Yeah, just like human and U.S. law. But yeah, I mean, I guess I kind of track what you're saying. Accidents do happen for sure. Ideally, they don't end in anyone's death. But honestly, I mean, whoever gave a sock a driver's license probably is somewhat at fault.
Wow. I didn't realize that I was on a racist show.
Excuse me?
I didn't realize I was on a racist show.
Oh, no. I suppose I see where you're coming from with that. My concern wasn't so much the fact that you wore a sock, but the fact that you didn't got arms or legs. Make it real hard to drive.
Wow. So ableist of you.
Oh, no. I see. I walked right into that one, too. No, my concern, I mean, it wasn't so much that you're not capable of driving, just that you wouldn't necessarily be capable of doing it safely. Oh, look, I'm walking myself into another corner, and there's no way out of it. What?
Because I'm a woman?
No, that's not what I meant, but I do see where you're coming with that. I see how I could have accidentally led you there. Oh, shoot. Okay.
I'm on the side with Karen on this one, Lester. You dissed her for being a sock, a woman, and a limbless creature, and I frankly cannot stand for it.
You know what? You both are absolutely right. This is the first time on this show I've ever had to do this, but I want to come out here and say I humbly apologize for the word choice that I used. The fact that I implied any kind of inability on the part of another human being who may be a sock, but is still a human being. Nope, that's a bad apology. Okay.
Lester, a sock. How could you equate the two? Wow.
Wait, I'm in trouble for equating a human being and a sock?
You just called Karen a human being. She's clearly a sock.
Oh, I was trying to be inclusive. Shoot. Oh, man. Oh, boy. Everything's going wrong. What?
I'm a human sock.
Oh, okay. I was right. I want to apologize on behalf of Harley Fincham for being wrong there, but I'll apologize on behalf of myself for being wrong earlier.
You're both right and you're both wrong.
Man, that's so normal.
Wow. I feel closer to the both of you than I did a few seconds ago.
Yeah, me too. You know, I feel like we really bridged a gap here. We may disagree on a lot of fundamental human basics, but we can also agree on some, which is important, I think.
Oh, yeah. Very important.
Mm-hmm. Well, Karen, we do have a couple of other guests on the show, so we're going to have to get to them. But I want to say thank you very much for coming on the show. And before we get to them, I do have a question coming to me from at Lisa Lauretta on Instagram. But interestingly enough, at sock.Karen, excuse me, also asked me the exact same question at the exact same time. And I'm looking at the pictures of the two of them, and it kind of looks like, well, Sock Karen is you. And Lisa Lauretta kind of looks like if you were not on somebody's hand and that hand grew a whole head and it was Lisa Lauretta's head.
Wow. What an imagination you have, young man.
Thanks. Now, they want to know, do you love dogs? And if so, who's the best dog? Okay, well, let me take this question first, but I'm going to ask all y'all. I'll say this. I do love dogs, and the best dog, in my opinion, is Smokey the Bear because he's trying to put out forest fires. Sock Karen, do you love dogs? If so, who's your favorite dog?
A bear is not a dog.
Oh, look at him.
Okay, that's fair. All right. Well, no, I don't. Dogs are dirty, and if you need a friend that bad, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know. They're very desperate and just filthy, and they go outside and then they come back in.
Fair enough. Again, a place where we're going to disagree, but we can't agree. We're all human beings. Harley Fincham, any opinion on this dog question?
I think all dogs are beautiful creatures that go to heaven and are born from heaven.
Wow.
Fantastic answer. Now, we are going to get to our next guest, who I'm very excited to introduce. His name is Theodore Booksworth, and he's a zookeeper. Theodore, welcome to the show.
Hello. Thank you. I feel welcome. Yes, my name is Theodore Booksworth, but why don't you go ahead and call me Teddy? Oh, you're all my friends. You can call me Teddy.
Oh, well, thanks so much, Teddy. I absolutely will. Teddy Booksworth, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. You a zookeeper?
Yes. So now a lot of us have made some endeavors to better ourselves during these difficult times of isolation. So I took it upon myself to start up a zoo. But not just any zoo. Tell me, Mr. Pipps, before the world went through such drastic changes, what was your favorite part of going to the zoo?
Oh, my favorite part was going to the zoo, and going to the tiger cage and imagining.
That's right.
they
That's
were
right.
pop-up
Reading
burgers.
the information plaques about the animals. That's right.
Oh,
So,
okay, yeah.
yes. So at the Silent Cerebral Zoo, I have made my zoo into a similarly rich and informative experience. And the animals are kept quiet, as you can see here. That's a tiger.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
I
the
do
animals
love
are
the tiger, LSU.
kept quiet so they don't disturb anyone's mind while they absorb the information. I have, plenty of information here for you. So, for example,
Okay.
pangolins. They're sometimes known as scaly anteaters. They're mammals of the order Pholidota. And
Whoa, now somebody just joined the screen, but I'm having a real hard time hearing them.
not getting your audio.
Whoa, 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 whoa. This is animal abuse.
Oh,
Theodore?
my brother, Edward.
Theodore, what are you trying to tell these people? You're trying to tell these people that having sleeping animals, quiet animals all the time, having them around is the ideal way to have a zoo.
Yes, I'm sorry for everyone watching.
Animal abuse.
Okay.
This is unprecedented. I've never had a guest get interrupted by a guest with a very similar name before. Teddy, you were about to explain?
Right. If I could for a second explain. So, yes, that is my brother, Edward.
Okay.
And he has his own zoo. If you want to call it that. And
My zoo that's full of energy and alive. I mean, look, you guys can see some of the security cams I have going on right now behind me with some of the animals in my zoo. Look at them. They're bouncing around. They're jittery. They're dancing. They're some of the happiest animals that I've ever seen. They're not just sleeping on the ground.
the best animal is the one with plenty of Xanax, plenty of all the things to relax them, while you can sit there and read and learn.
No. See, this is where this is coming from. When COVID hit and everything just went to hell, he decided, well, I'm going to make a zoo that's literally the most boring zoo that you could possibly attend because all the animals are sedated and sleeping. So, of course, I had to create my own much better, much fancier, much more expensive zoo where the animals are teeming with life. And so we inject them with adrenaline every single morning when they get their food, which food is adrenaline. And you can just see, again, not like the sleeping tigers and giraffes that are in Theodore's zoos. My animals, they're just constantly moving around and they're going like this. And that's why my zoo, Eddie's Jitter Jungle, is the #1 post-pandemic zoo that you need to attend today.
Wow. Now, I listen, I've heard about brotherly competition. I don't have a brother myself, so I haven't experienced it. But I've heard that sometimes it can be taken to extreme when two brothers are thinking to themselves, I got to be better than my brother.
Extreme? I don't see what do you mean?
Well, what I mean is it seems like one of you had an idea and the other one was like, I'm going to do better than my bro. I'm going to make his I'm going to take his idea, ramp it up to level 2. You know what I mean? But it seems to me like both of you was making one big mistake, which is you feeding your animals drugs.
What? I don't see how that's...
It's only a drug if you buy it on the street from like a 14-year-old who's like your friend's nephew. That's a drug.
But that is true. We agree on this point.
Okay,
These I get from the dark web.
I should explain. We did not find some kid on the street and get gallons and gallons and gallons of benzodiazepines and barbiturates, and he didn't do that with adrenaline. No. We went through channels.
Okay, like you was on TV scrolling through the channels, and then you saw like an infomercial for some supplements.
Yeah.
That's
and we went through our contacts at the Home Shopping Network, which is we kind of finagled our way in there, and we have a few contacts at NBC Universal that we reach out to who have a lot of connections. So just sort of stuff like that. But this is all beside the point. You're accusing me of ripping off my brother's idea.
I am, yeah.
But it's not. His idea is completely unethical. His idea does not have the animal's best interest at heart. He just wants them to sleep all day so he can read around them in the vicinity of it.
Well,
my animals, they're playing games and they're going like this, and they're just moving around and they're just having so much fun. And
For
again, it's the number.
Every time Eddie says going like this, what he does is kind of like waves his arms a little bit, just so you know.
Well, yeah, I feel like they could get that from how jittery my voice was sounding.
I think so, but I just
Like
want
when I go like this, and it's sort of that's sort of if the animals were talking, that's probably how they would sound.
Yeah, I think so. I think that makes sense to me, but at the same time, it's like what Teddy did was he gave his animals one kind of drug, a downer, so that they would chill out. He could read his book, and you gave your animals another kind of drug, an upper, so that they would bounce around and you could just watch. Which honestly, kind of equally animal abuse, if we're being honest here.
I should clarify something here. I don't always I just leave it out. So I'm not injecting, you're making it into an abuse thing. Plenty of these animals, they find it, it's nature, they grab it, they partake of it, they huff it, they inject it. I don't do that for them. That is them.
My animal's drug addiction is completely voluntary.
Okay. Well, hey. Okay. Well, look. I mean, we're not going to be able to talk you out of giving drugs to the animals. We're just going to have to call PETA about that. But what I can say is
PETA from Hunger Games.
Yeah, PETA from Hunger Games is really actively anti-animal abuse all the time, and he is the kind of guy who will be litigious and he'll make sure that this gets solved. So I'm going to call PETA from Hunger Games after this show.
Celebrities have been to my zoo too.
Is that right?
The best celebrities.
Celebrities at the zoo.
I've had a number of celebrities come because, everyone is quarantining and everyone's staying at home. And this is the only safe zoo that you can attend because everyone's wearing masks. We're all practicing social distancing. We're all like hanging out and like giving each other high fives and kissing each other and doing fun things.
Social distancing.
Yeah, we're like social kissing each other, kiss each other. But the further point of that being that we've had, this year alone, I had Herman Cain come by.
Oh, wow.
I had Sean Connery, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, Wilford Brimley. I've had a lot of celebrities come by this year and just see my animals dance around and have a fun time and kind of, move in their pen as much as they possibly can in circles.
I feel like all those celebrities you just listed off had something in common, but I can't quite put my finger on it.
They all loved going to Eddie's Jitter Jungle.
They are animal lovers, yes.
I think they all posted it on their Instagram story, which is why you would have seen it, because they have my merch.
That must be it, yeah.
Any reality stars come to your zoo?
I haven't had any reality stars come to my zoo, but I would love for you to be the first one.
No, actually, you should come to my zoo. It's a little bit more for the thinkers among us. And furthermore, one thing I should clarify is that my brother and I, we have a shared bunker for this. So when you come, you should just buy a ticket to mine, of course. But there's a plexiglass dividing for us. But it's separate zoos, but same address, so to speak.
Yeah. And it's a 1-bathroom bunker. So we do have to, the attendees of my zoo and the attendees of his zoo, unfortunately, do have to share the same bathroom.
Oh, wow.
Which can cause quite a queue. But,
sure. It sounds like
they can play games on their phone or whatever. I don't care.
Yeah. It sounds like your zoo has a ton of folks at it, Eddie. Teddy, have you seen people coming through your zoo as well?
Oh, yes. I'm really kind of focused on, I'll drop the book, I guess, because it doesn't seem like you guys are going to pipe down for anything. But
if you have a passage that you particularly want to read, we could do that. But please.
I was before the interruption, and now I guess I'll stop. So
it's certainly not something that we want to do again, maybe once or twice. But please go ahead.
Right. So, what was your question?
Have you had any celebrities come through your zoo?
Oh, yes. Well, as we said, it's the same location. So actually, as soon as they finish with the high anxiety, the rhino that he can't quite get to stay put, that because it'll go around and it has made new walls in our bunker. They will come over to mine for relief, and then they sit, they meditate, they learn. The animals, what do you know?
Pretentious.
There's a monkey
Pretentious.
right here. Who can give that to you on a regular basis?
It's a good question. Now, Eddie, I see. Are you eating a sandwich right now?
Huh? Oh, yeah. So the problem with my brother is that he's all up here. This is where he lives. And I think that, is going to help him like get a job and help me get rid of my debt and all these different things. But we need someone, if you're going to be running a zoo, we need someone who lives right here in the heart, makes decisions from here. Harley knows what I'm talking about.
I do. I agree. I think you're right.
Well, what about Sock Karen? I mean, don't you appreciate the cerebral environment where we sit with the animals?
Listen, I can appreciate a zoo for the fact that it gets my kids off my back and shuts them up, or at least I don't have to deal with them. Beyond that, I'm not really interested, especially after hearing that I have to wear a mask to attend either of your zoos. That's just...
Oh, it's a formality, yes. I mean...
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like they haven't been too effective because, again, there's something about those 4 people who you said have been there that's bringing something to mind.
One thing I should clarify. The mask, there's a mask that we drape over the top at the entrance. And so once people come down here, there's no need because there's already there's a filter in place. So it would be a waste of our finances, our products to bother with more masks inside. So whenever we say everyone wears masks, of course, we mean that there's one mask over the entryway. And then once you come in, then why would we bother?
I mean, think about it. If you wanted to keep an entire crowd of people warm, would you have every person wearing their own coat and jacket? Or would you have one giant coat that's maybe miles and miles long that you would drape over everybody?
That's a question.
Sorry, Karen, say that one more time.
I said that is an excellent question. That's a very good point.
Yeah, well,
so I think the more sort of mask tent that we've sort of created, we believe is 100% effective in spreading the coronavirus and just making sure that everyone has a good time and everyone's animals are kind of just dancing around.
Sorry,
and
100% effective at spreading the coronavirus.
What did you say? I feel like you're putting words in his mouth because
you're putting words in my mouth. I have a sandwich in my mouth right now, but you're trying to stuff words in there as well. You're wondering why I'm eating a sandwich. It's so nothing else can fit in there with your agenda, whatever that may be.
Okay, well, I wasn't trying to project any kind of agenda here. I was just saying what I thought you said. I've been wrong in the past. You've heard me apologize for the first time ever on the show, but I don't think I was wrong about this one. But that's okay. That's okay. Look, I mean, something that jumped out to me about the two of you is that you sharing the space with your zoo, you're sharing the space where you live, and you're sharing a little bit of animosity between the two of you that I feel like we should be bridging.
Oh, I hate them.
Why would we? Okay. What? 2 things we can agree on. The mask situation. There's a mask over the top of the bunker.
Not a great idea, but go on.
That drugs that are bad come from the little kid down the street.
Your friend's nephew, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Beyond these, we are completely enemies, and we always have been, even before all this, before the zoos, Well,
there is another thing that we agree on there, Theodore. It's that our lives now, post-pandemic, when we've found our callings, is way better than before the pandemic.
Oh, yes. Oh, far better.
Wow.
I mean,
despite the bunk bed we share, despite the trough we eat out of, despite all of that, the life before was so much worse. For me, I used to be in an equestrian fecal waste displacer. Yeah.
So like a horse poop scooper.
Well, that's not a very cerebral way to put it.
Well, and to be fair to Theodore, he's a poop scooper to the stars.
Yeah. Oh, it's to Publicariat.
Oh yeah, only the most famous of the horses.
That's right. So, to be criticizing this is hardly. It's a widely known horse, and I consider it to be an honor. I did until now, which I've obviously moved up. Over time you gain experience and learn, and then you get your promotions.
Absolutely, that's fantastic. I'm happy for you about that. Absolutely, but I'm curious.
I think I've found my calling a bit too. I mean, before all this, I was a lobbyist for Raytheon.
Oh no.
And that, just sort of weighed on me a little bit. Just the hours.
Yeah, that's tough hours.
The commute was awful. But now I've found my calling as a post-apocalyptic zookeeper.
What is Raytheon?
Oh, they're just like a weapons manufacturer, among other things that the government contracts out.
Right.
Yeah, one of the big drivers behind the military-industrial complex. Not a great company, if you ask me.
When you get your weapons from a real business like that, as opposed to whatever friend down the street.
Your friend's nephew down the street who's selling these ballistic
missiles. Your friend's nephew seems to be like a major player in your neighborhood.
No.
Oh well,
we stay away from him.
Yeah, but he's a huge player in the neighborhood, whether or not we spend time with him.
Yes, well, he's the they call him the player. Yes.
Oh wow, yeah. I hit the nail right on the head with that one, huh? That's crazy.
Suspiciously.
I don't know him, I promise. But look, I mean, the two of you, it seems like now we come into the end of the show, so maybe this isn't enough time to have an emotional resolution. But it does seem like the two of you, you've been fighting over zoos. You've been fighting over sandwiches, maybe. I don't know. You've been fighting each other, but at the same time, you've been fighting against me together. You two seem to have so much in common, so much that you could bridge this gap with. I'm curious now. Is this zoo thing a manifestation of a childhood split that occurred at a zoo?
I mean, do we want to go into this?
Do we have time? Well, okay. So I didn't always work for Publicariat. I worked for other horses.
Mm-hmm.
As a child.
Mm-hmm.
And we both had a similar summer job where, Eddie here was in charge of the full stable. He was directing, he was the manager, and he would tell me where to go scoop. And I suppose at some point a resentment built up because he didn't give me benefits because I was too young to be working the hours that would be required.
Well, and I was in a managerial position, and once you were to, pull up your bootstraps a little bit and reach that kind of position, then maybe you'll get vacation days. Maybe you'll get benefits. Maybe you'll get time off. Maybe, you'll get to do what I do, which is sort of hang out in the back with my friend's nephew and just kind of toke it up.
Yeah, wow. That does explain it. And man, I was right that we don't have enough time to get to an emotional resolution, but I am so glad that we got to the bottom of why you two are at each other's throats so much.
Yeah.
And I do hope that that at some point maybe you two zoos merge together, and people who like to look at chill animals can do that, and people who look at hyper animals can do that. But at the same time, the thing that I hope the most is that we stop giving these animals these drugs.
Not going to happen. Couldn't happen.
Well, look,
now they would go through withdrawal. It would be worse to take them off the drugs.
It would be harsh. And by the way, I've, and I, once again, we don't get along on everything, but I have seen his animals, they go for the cocaine on their own. They line it up on their own. He does not do it.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, the initial push towards cocaine was probably look, okay. I don't know enough about animals and cocaine. I never tried it or I tried to having an animal try it. So what do I know?
Well, it's gateway drugs that do it. It has nothing to do with us. They were they probably started smoking in middle school or something like that. It just gets harsher and harsher throughout your life. And you can't judge people for that because you don't know what people are going through.
That's right.
My animals, I don't know what they're going through. I just know that they're dancing around and they're happy and they're jittering.
And I would hope as a zookeeper you have some idea what's going on with the animals. But that makes sense.
No idea.
I mean, look, I would, if I had to guess based on what I know about your neighborhood, probably the player is the one who started these animals on the drugs, not you.
Thank you for saying that.
Lester,
I would probably agree.
Lester, you're seeing what happens when you legalize marijuana.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah.
Now we don't even know if Eddie and Teddy are in a state that has legal marijuana.
Well, I mean, but if you start doing it around the country in little pockets, right? Even medicinally, right? Okay, so you claim it's medicinal, and then these animals go to the vet for their medicinal marijuana, and like they said, it's a gateway drug. And then they get hooked, and then the animals start doing heroin and meth, and it just, listen, I love barbiturate. I do, okay? But it's control, and it's prescribed by my doctor, and it's manufactured in a laboratory. It's not some random
by a scientist. Yes.
I have a feeling I'm about to say a word you don't like, but I would the science would disagree with you on most of what you said. Now, before you have a chance to argue with that, we do have to get to the end of the show here. Which first off, I have a question coming to me from at Dr. London Smith on Instagram, who I'm looking at his Instagram, and he kind of looks like if you, Teddy, just didn't have those glasses on. Interesting.
Don't trust him.
It sure is. Now, he wants to know how do you cook penne pasta? Ooh, okay, good question. I'll answer this first. For me, when I cook penne pasta, I do it mostly by putting it in a boiling water. How about you, Teddy Booksworth? How do you do it?
Oh, I don't. So we have a trough, as I said, and so we just put sort of whatever the animals are eating, we'll eat that, and whatever we're eating, the animals will eat. It's a symbiotic relationship sort of thing. We're animal lovers. This is really what it comes down to.
Well, that makes total sense. Now, I have another question coming in. Oh, what?
Oh, just abuse. I'm just going to say that every once in a while, just to hammer that home.
We have another question coming from at Cam Alex on Instagram, who I'm looking at him, and Eddie, he looks 100% like you, which is interesting.
I would seriously doubt that. I would seriously doubt that anyone out there has the things that have been grafted onto me over time.
Wow,
you can't see it.
What that means.
No, that's why I wear this shirt. I'm not going to show you what's underneath this neck.
He always wears sleeves. He's wearing that bandana. You don't want to see what he's done. Part of it's to help with the animal care. Part of it is to prevent the animals from delving further in whenever they do, pin him down. And
sure. Now, we don't have time to get into all of that, but I wish we did. The question that Cam Alex asked was, which Major League Baseball player had the highest batting average in the 1993 Major League Baseball season? Okay, this is a fantastic question. Let me take it first. For me, that's you. For me, I'll say that I don't watch baseball. I only watch those you over there. But I do think probably slamming Sammy Sosa because all them steroids. Eddie, do you know the answer?
Well, it's 1993, they said, right? So probably like Tracy Chapman or maybe the Spin Doctors. They were really in the news back then.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Tracy Chapman, big time baseball player. Now,
so probably one of them.
Probably one of them for sure. Now we are at the end of time. We gotta end this show. So everybody has like a really quick second to say any thing that they want folks on the internet to find. Harley Fincham, we're gonna start with you.
Sure. You can check out my new show where I make friends with other famous people this Saturday, Jet City Improv Twitch. It's called Your Famous Babe with reality TV's Harley Fincham.
Very nice. And that's probably twitch.tv/Jet City Improv.
Quite right.
Okay, great. Karen, anything you want folks to find on the internet?
Oh, I'm everywhere. I'm Sock Karen on Twitter and TikTok, and then Sock.Karen on Instagram, because Sock Karen on Instagram was already taken.
Very good.
I'm all over town.
Teddy Booksworth, anything for you?
Yes, well, my cousin actually had something he wanted me to say, which was go check out the improvised comedy podcast hosted by a doctor. It's Jock Talk Podcast. Apparently nice things. I don't care.
Okay, all right. Hard sell. Very good. Eddie, anything you want to add?
Well, my friend's nephew is actually also affiliated with the Jock Talk podcast that comes out every Monday on any of your podcast services that you might be using. And also check out The Masked Singer on Fox. Sarah Palin was on it once.
Very nice. Okay, and for me, I'll say this. First off, AC Improv says y'all are cool, and I say to that, AC Improv, yeah, you cool. And everybody who's watching this right now on the Twitch should definitely stick around and watch AC Improv's show, which is called Play Cousins. I almost said Your Cousins, which is an old thing from Seattle, but it's Play Cousins. Very good. I've never been to Seattle. I'm in Louisiana. I am at Lester Pipps on Instagram. At Ezra Partier is my publicist. Follow either one of them. Send your questions about apocalypses to them. And we don't have time to play this very nice outro song that I made. So instead, we're going to leave the internet the way we always do, which is kind of just, it ends.
That was the show, now we did it. You know how to survive an apocalypse. If anything should go down, you'll be okay. And for that we say you're welcome. Also, we gotta say thank you to all these amazing guests. Find them on the internet, and then you'll never not know when they doing fun and stuff. And that's what the fun of the show is. Also to survive apocalypses. And hey, we hit both those nails on the head with one bird or something, I guess like that. So anyway, I gotta say thank you to the Pet Theater.
What? But yeah, thanks to them and thanks for watching.